I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a
I found it.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for 7/2/2018. I'm Michael, your host. We got Ben. In this, not in the studio, but we're doing a via connection type hookup. So it's been a while. Let me see here. All right, Ben, we got you in the studio or on the
Nice.
on the
Via
wire.
remote coming in from the wire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm able to get in there. I'm kind of trying this again, but happy to be here and super excited. Crazy stuff's happening, brother. Crazy stuff's happening.
Heck yeah. Lots of positive things coming out. And still lots of waiting. But it's been interesting. You're just working on a new machine. He's had some technical difficulties, but he's working it out. I think we did a show not too long ago, was it? Yeah. Or did we not?
I was able to get back actually in the studio. Yeah, I was in the studio not too long ago, but I'm trying to get my little self there so we can do some more remote sessions for sure. Because, a lot has come out, and man, we've had a lot of that quote unquote garage talk, and so now we're able to kind of do it now on the link now. So, and I got my official Patriot Hour koozie.
Oh yes. Cheers, brother.
Yes, feel extra special.
All right, before we get started here, folks, I wanted to just say thanks for stopping by. If you're new, please subscribe, ring the bell. Maybe after the video, leave a comment, share. Look in the comment section. It's a great place where people and ideas flow. So we really appreciate any comments. And take a look in the description box. Typically leave any links as well down below. All right, so let's jump into. Are you able to see that pretty good on your end still then?
Oh yeah, no, real perfect, crystal clear. Yeah, no, it reminds me. I can't remember what. It's an old artist, like a mind game artist that does those type of weird, the upside down, the illusion where it shows like a six-legged, elephant, but it's only really four legs with all the optical illusions, and that is a very, very well great depiction of really what's happening. That's why you have so many people who have no idea what the hell is going on, because they're either on this aspect and they can't even see from their viewpoint what's really going on underneath the stairs. And it's a great, definite little graph of kind of tells you what's kind of going on. So I enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on in here. I think there's even pot plants over here in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Right next to Trump, and he's playing the little world that has that's a 3-tier, kind of like in the Star Wars chess they play.
3D
Chewbacca
chess or something.
Yeah, 3D chess. Yeah.
So there's the safe space.
Social justice warrior safe space.
There's the corporate America flag, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's they got the money. You got Rush, the sickle and the hammer, and then you have Islam, and then you have the
pain,
death head, the skull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Still the Punisher, the Punisher.
The Punisher. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's wild, man. That's wild. Here in the center, they got looks like a noose. There's a pyramid with the all-seeing eye.
Even that camera to the right of it, right underneath Soros, the snake.
Oh wow, up here.
Yeah, open borders. Yeah, Soros. And, Liberty is like, what the heck is going on?
A little bit of Me Too movement.
The Me Too. Russia's fallen down. And then you have it up, free stuff. Our democracy. And you see
Clinton closet.
The hammer and sickle. They got a lot of bones and money and skulls in there. And then who's in the middle on the tank? Who is that depiction where it says tank war? And then
I think that's Bolton.
War? Is that?
That's
okay, and then
yeah, it looks like.
And then
No war. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
You notice how Russia is a lady on just that real quick. That's a lady wearing shoes like the slippers, and they're falling off, and it says Russia.
Right here.
It's like
Russia.
That's not a man. That's a woman with shoes falling off. That's the red
Wow.
shoes. I don't know. That's weird. I thought that was a dude at first, but no. All kinds of good stuff. Yeah, I mean that free speech, all kind. It's amazing.
We're just going to go over a few different posts here, folks. Touch base on.
And I do got a couple of questions, and the indictments and whatnot, and there's some other things that I had the privilege to talk to some extended family over this last month or so, and get them kind of tuned on to, brief them on Q. Not so much, hey, this is just something to think about. If you're not, it's not the same narrative that's going on. It just makes you question and things. So it's been kind of nice getting onto that, and been able to talk a little bit more about what's going on, and especially with the indictments coming out. And what did I say? I was at the barber a month ago, or about 3 weeks ago, and something comes on with the FBI, and this old man, he's in the chair, and he's like, "The FBI arresting the FBI?
Yeah.
What's coming to? What's going on here?" And he was so baffled that the FBI was arresting the FBI, because the FBI should be arresting people that's not the FBI, and he couldn't quite wrap his mind around that. And then towards the end, he's like, "Well, I guess there's just bad people."
Yes, I remember you telling me that. That's interesting. Hey, they're supposed to be arresting people, but here's the FBI getting arrested by the FBI, or possibly some of these.
Yeah. Who polices the police? That's what the old adage is, right?
It's a strange time. This is not normal, folks. Definitely not normal. And speaking of not normal, let's take a look at this post that was reposted.
The anti-fascist, but then that's kind of the isn't that crazy? It's almost like, what's
they
the
didn't have
deal?
to do that.
What's the deal? No, of course not. I mean, like, why is it so? Think about it. Like, what's up is down, what's left is right, what's black is white. It's like everything is negative
right is
and
wrong.
totally in the action. Yes.
What's wrong is right. Yeah, folks, there's no reason that has to be like that. Now you got these people, like in 1652, ICE executes its mission through the enforcement of more than 400 federal statutes, and focuses on smart immigration enforcement, preventing terrorism, and combating the illegal movement of people and trade. Now, they're screaming to abolish ICE. You got a pocket full of people in this country that want to literally abolish, not correct the issue, but abolish an agency that doesn't enforce an issue that they have an issue with, instead of just
and it's amazing. I agree with you, and it's funny, you hear the stuff on the news lately, on the mainstream fake news, telling you how these children are being ripped away from their parents, and oh my gosh, these families. And yes, and I would agree that in some small fractional cases there is an actual family that have all the same last name. They're the biological family. It isn't like, it's funny, these guys coming across the border and all the kids, it's crazy.
2.7 million parents in prison in the U.S. So 2.7 million parents that have committed crimes in prison are separated. Nobody's screaming over that,
No, of course. And then you got to ask yourself, are these kids with the quote-unquote their parents coming across the border, are they really their parents, or are they the dad's a drug mule and the cartel is going to shift him up and get him all packed up to look like a family member, and, hey, pump the mom full of some, some, make her a mule, and then the kids will just send them off to the sex trafficking and the human trafficking, and it's a whole big good racket, and it's, they're family, but once they get to their side, it's there is an issue, but in the same aspect, like you said, the fact that you come across the border, boom, you're a criminal. every breath you take, every move you make, you're a criminal. It's interesting. So
Well,
for them to even be doing this,
on that point, you just hit the nail on the head. They come across, people are like their country's lawless and it's a war zone, or they're scared for their lives. And okay, we get it. So for a long, long time, it's been government atrocities. They're raping and pillaging the people, taking their money, more and more of their tax dollars, to a point there's no jobs left. And they're
I want
running
to know
for
what
their
country
lives.
that is, though, because it's like I
Yeah,
haven't
where
seen
is
that
it?
in Mexico. Yeah, that's like in the Middle East. Like I've been to Baja,
How can
Tijuana.
these
Like, yeah,
people be running, but yet people here and buy into it, but yet people here go on vacations to places like that? They're like, oh, we're going to Mexico next
Cabo,
month.
San Lucas.
It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly. I
but I
mean,
thought they're lawless and people are running from there, and you're trying to convince me that that's what's happening. But if it is, the very first act that they do is break the law here in their new country that they come to. They're bringing lawlessness here now. These are the things we got to be weary of, I would imagine. But yeah, they're hitting on that small fact of the numbers getting separated, but they're not talking about why. Like, well, the reason we're separating 9 out of 12 people coming to the border is because we can't see if they're their kids. We don't really think that the kids belong to these people. Most of them are, some are drug mules, some are, actual felons, or from the country of origin, or they've been here in our country.
it's really
before.
hard to vet these people. But this has been an ongoing thing for a long
Yes.
time.
They're not even mentioning any of all that. They're just getting to the bottom fact of kids are being separated, bottom line. So people are going nuts over 2,000 that were just kind of incarcerated a month or two ago. But the bigger numbers here that are right in front of us, people are oblivious to it. So it's kind of funny on what
And
people decide to get really upset about, isn't it?
It really is, because if you think critically about the situation, there would be no conversation. There would only be agreement.
Yeah.
And then you would move on, right? It's like, oh, no, you're right, cool, yep, all right, And it really depends, because it depends on what part of the country you're actively living in. Some parts, you get inundated with more illegals coming across the border. Other parts, not so much. And it's difficult, because some people that, up in New Hampshire, and these guys, they have all these emission laws. They don't understand about people who live in Middle America, who actually have tractors and fields and do farmers. We have to have more than one vehicle. You're living in, in the Boston area, you're only going to really need maybe a bicycle and a good Uber guy.
Yeah. Well, what is I would say it's up to the people to have a good idea on how to solve this issue at the border, or just even have a good idea of what's going on. You have to have all the facts, and not just the I know 2,000 people got separated from kids last month. Okay, that might be a fact, that might be a raw number, that's how many got separated. But now look into maybe why and what was going on to get separated. Just, because they're saying zero tolerance and they're separating everybody now. Now they're talking about housing them together. Trump already did some executive order. They're going to be housed. They're not just going to ignore the crime. And that's what people are not getting. The reason for separation is either A, they can't prove the kid's this, or the kid is a mule, unfortunately, or the kid might be standing next to a pedophile ring master.
Yeah, it's so hard to see. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people coming to the border, and I mean, this is a pretty hard issue, and I really do think that some of these, I'm hoping these not so much IG, excuse me, the indictments coming out. I think a lot of these indictments, when it comes to at least to the human trafficking side, obviously there's other indictments. There's like 48,000 plus or something of that nature.
Yeah,
I think some of them will touch on
plus
40,000. Okay, I think some of these indictments, depending on the states, are going to really touch on border issues, back and forth, doing drugs, human trafficking. I mean, these, crimes against children. We saw that in the first IG report, and these, we know that there's 200,000 go missing, 800,000 worldwide or whatever national. I don't know the exact FBI stats, but it's in the 100,000s. I know that all can't come from, you know, just illegal border crossings and us ripping families apart from their moms and dads. That's not what it was, So, but no, it is. This border it's a huge issue, and I think, but man, I think what's going on though is going to send us a huge signal to our neighboring countries to the north and to the south. And it's going to really tell them, hey, man, we're not messing around anymore. No more free lunch. I mean, didn't we pay off Mexico, or not so much pay off Mexico, but we're like $100 million in debt to Mexico because of the NAFTA thingy, and
Yeah.
we're not really doing this. And now all of a sudden it's like, why do we owe them 100,000? They're friggin' Mexico. Come on now. Hey, let's pay them off. Let's start having to say, hey, by the way, and this is something that any one of your listeners and subscribers can really, like I think a lot of your subscribers already probably do, where are you going to shop local? Are you going to shop where around you live at? Because that's your community. And honestly, coming together and just becoming, informing each other and relying on each other and those in your community, making your local community solid versus going out and, okay, where we're just going to get this and that. I mean, I definitely agree with the whole, shopping local because you want to support where you're at and helping your neighbor, this kind of stuff. And so I think this is going to be coming out more for sure.
I agree. Real quick on the 40,000 indictments, I looked into a few other people's videos that were floating around, and some people are saying that we don't know, that these might not all be federal indictments. There's no way to prove that. So it's just, again, a kind of a naysay to the opposite of what the common consensus is on this. If you do the math of, when Trump talked about a storm coming, Huber supposedly got right away back in November of 17. That's when the first indictments wave started really pumping. But there's been some interesting naysay. I'm going to do a little more research that these aren't maybe 40,000. Why haven't not a dang one of them been served? But yet they have said now about 3,000 have been possibly served. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to do a little research more on these. And it's 4,500 or 4,458, almost 40,000.5, federal indictments or whatever these are, subpoenas and.
Okay. So an indictment, I mean, let's just, you can probably want to look up what an indictment is or whatnot. But I'm looking at some of these sealed indictments. From the 10/30/17 through 6/30/2018, and some of them they give the state and district they're in. So it's almost like if you have a federal indictment saying, okay, you're being accused of something on the federal level, that's big mojo. Or if there is a state level to where you can handle it at the state, and the state courts can handle it because you got bigger fish frying in the Supreme Court or the grand jury, because we know that's been convened and they're ready to start popping off if they not already have.
And they can do that anywhere. Doesn't have to be in DC.
Anywhere, exactly. So a lot of these indictments, I'm not a lawyer, and
that's all I was saying.
Both know a little bit about civil, but it's like. You can have, state indictments, federal indictments. You got these, you got people like senators who represent their state who are over there, and they can get their state attorney general. Every state has an attorney general, right? And they report to the main federal attorney general, but they can bring on, I guess you take it down to a real simplistic level to where traffic violations are handled at the county level. They're not going to be paying your traffic, fines at the federal building downtown. But it's still a crime that you can be indicted for. And if the federal government wanted to come down and do so, I think maybe like you said, like we don't know all the ins and outs, but the fact that the indictments are there, however they're labeled or what avenues they're coming in or going through, and that's the beauty of it, because it's like there's probably so many different avenues and districts and counties and sectors and executive things that are going to be coming in and hitting these people that there's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and unless you
can't all be Matt Damon's head over
I
to
was just gonna
Australia.
say you can't.
Yeah,
and where he
expat.
went, yeah.
Yeah, expat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
It's
that's I wasn't denying or I guess the video I saw, the guy brought up a good point about looking into what all these really are. What are they adding up? I've seen the list that's posted right there for us, but that just shows each state and then each quarter of
and
the
how
year.
many they are. Yeah.
What are they? What are the actual numbers? Like, where are they getting? Like, what is? So I would verify, which I've done some research and seen some of the unsealed ones, but are they giving us BS numbers, and what are they tallying up for us? So what he got into was like, again, check your data.
50 in Vermont.
Yeah, just check the data or whatever.
Know.
But I totally think that's rolling down, and I've been waiting. Last thing I want to touch base on was the IG report.
Okay.
That came out, what, a week or two ago at this point now? Buried in there, they're saying, was page 203. Because I remember we went over like page 96 or 94 pretty extensively.
I think, it had something
That was to do with
all
the
it
Clinton
said was 3
child
words.
crimes.
Yeah, the crimes against children. It was like, whoa, it
Crimes
really
against
made the
children.
hair in the back of my neck stand up, and I got a little bit sick.
But yeah, here, so page 203 of the IG says Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton tarmac meeting was planned via Secret Service a couple weeks in advance. Or days. So they both have stuck by the story of, it was just coincidental.
It's like, we don't even know. We're just good old. We flew in the same airplane. Gosh, gee, jolly.
Oh, Bill Clinton's here to see me? How random. But it was all planned. They wanted to make it look random, folks. They knew.
What were we talking about early? These guys have been using I don't know and gee golly shucks where's the baby to kiss? They've been using these shticks for years. I think we talked about this, and they're trying to use the same excuses to the public, like I had no idea. I don't know. It's an airport, lots of airplanes. I fly, you fly, we all fly. Say hi. But because more of the public than normal is starting to wake up and see this and start to think more critically about what's happening, going on. Like, wait a minute, the president. And these people, they have Secret Service. These are very high-powered people. They know where they're going weeks in advance because of security issues. I mean, we know about that. You can't just go take a bunch of really high-powered, high-sensitive environment people and just go hop in a bunch of cars, fly the plane there. No, you got to coordinate. People are going to be there. You can't just, we're just going to, shucks, we just met one another. Like, I thought she was there. I could have waved, but then, she took off, and this isn't working anymore, and they're still trying it. And it's like, it's still, it's almost mind-boggling these people are lying like this, because it's almost like they're not understanding or realizing this is not working anymore. So they're like a broken record. And like, hope nobody notices that this is happening, and I'm still lying.
Yeah, when she didn't win, that's what they needed to happen at all costs. It's been a scramble since, folks. It's been a real scramble. Plan B, Plan C. They're probably down to Plan Z right now. And
I think they're on the Roman alphabet and looking at like a whole other foreign alphabet to start their plans. Because it is, man. I agree with you. It was almost like all of the chips were in. Everybody was betting on black. Bet on black. They got IOUs. This is this is typical what you would do in business, in a business venture. You're going to put all your money in this company, and you're going to hope and cross your fingers that the IPO goes big, and you're going to make lots of money. They're going to promise you the world. And when we go big, you're going to have 50 million, quadrillion shares, and you're going to be super rich, and everybody's in there. But when it doesn't happen, we're sorry. Yeah. And Clinton was just like that, man. She had so many things out on the board, and so many people depended on her winning because there was treasonous criminal activities going on, and she was going to say, look, I'm going to cover it all up as long as I win. And when she didn't, oh, this is coming down like a house of cards.
Oh yeah.
I 100%.
Well, when the House of Cards collapses, folks, and these people go down, it'll be one of the greatest stories ever told in the history books of criminal activity at its finest, or the finest that they thought it could have been. But I believe Trump and some of the good guys are taking them down, taking the garbage out to the curb.
I definitely agree, and if I definitely like, and probably as a clip on this video, I would always say that Trump talks about putting on the full armor of God, and we're dealing with really evil people here. And a picture came up not too long ago of Obama in dressing up in the female version of the Baphomet, and that's just I'm seeing this evilness is coming out. And I mean, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood now. It's against them principalities and spiritual darkness and wickedness in high places.
Yes.
So it's like definitely this is what's going to help. If I can't go to Washington D.C. and go there and go change what's happening right now, but our president can, and you can pray for him, and you can have him hey, give him and the people around him wisdom and direction, because this is affecting everybody. And I agree with you, this is the biggest thing that's happened, almost, I would say, almost besides our Declaration of Independence, claiming that, hey, we are going to be our own people now, and we don't want to be governed by these kings and queens and have to pay, and all this kind of stuff. And we were pretty fierce about that. And I think that, I don't think I should say I know that this president believes that, and he's got a good team of people behind him. And if he does good, praise him up. If he does that, bad, obviously, call him on the carpet. He's as human as we are.
That's what we've said here. We support what we see. Good. We'll call it out if it's bad. Admit when we're wrong. Don't take anything we're saying here today, folks, as truth. You do all your research, verify it for yourself, and come to your conclusions. But have the facts. Look at the facts. Study the facts, and then come to a conclusion. That's the best you can do.
I agree.
And like you said, that is, people should be praying right now that what's happening is happening, not trying to, I guess if you see something that, you think is not right, then you would call that out and talk about it, but not be blindly going along. But just to be a naysayer, like most people are a lot of the time, would be a waste of time, because you should hope that this is, and pray that this is happening, so we can take out the evil, get that garbage
we've all
out of
been
there.
Talking about this, for years. Hey, we need to do this. We need to do this. But it's almost like when it happens, it's like, well, I don't know. It's like, no, it's happening. We've been talking about it. So I agree, man. And no, again, man, it's
great time to be alive.
Facts. Yes, right? It really truly is, man. It's a wonderful time to be alive, and it's like to know that we have technology. I mean, I can reach out, and you and I can have a conversation with your subscribers and all the people, your viewers who see this. And I mean, this is the knowledge will increase, man. And look at the technology we have nowadays, and it's exciting times to live in. And it is. I'm able to via Lincoln remotely and have these great conversations, and be able to knock out some of these crazy things that are happening on states and things that I'm not even in right now. Like I'm not in North Korea, but I'm watching all kinds of stuff about North Korea that I've only read in books and seen in pictures and on the movies, and of course the news years ago. It was almost like we were afraid of the Russians, and and they're still pushing that narrative. And then so it's definitely an exciting time to be in, and to see what will be happening and be coming up.
It's a great time to be part of the Patriot Hour movement, folks. The Hour of the Patriots. We're at the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna let Ben give a nice closing thought here. He just might have done it, but we'll give him a chance anyway. and then we'll shut this one down. It's great to have Ben back on the show. Again, folks, take it easy on us. We're just connecting again on computers, and we might have had some technical. I think it went pretty good, but who knows? We'll see, and I'm sure you guys will tell us, but be kind.
Yes, no, again, thank you for having me on the show. Again, very much be kind. We're all people out there, and, keep those good comments coming. I think in closing, I think like I just said, man, earlier was, put on the full armor of God, because we don't wrestle against, flesh and blood, and be okay with being wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I myself am wrong many times, and I almost, I don't celebrate that I'm wrong, but I take that as a good learning point and say, okay, cool. This is a fact. I believe something that was my assumption, and I changed it. And, you got to have, it's enjoyable talking to Mike, because it's, iron sharpens iron. It's really hard to kind of do this on your own, because there's so much information out there. And there's a lot of deception out there, and a lot of people that say, come to me. If you don't come here, you won't get the real information. And that's not what truth is, man. It's truth should be free. It should be liberating. It should be freedom all wrapped into one and packaged, and it shouldn't cost you a thing. It's just a matter of changing the way you view things and those around you, and that's super powerful. And again, man, what this Patriot Hour is doing, and and the amount of subscribers you guys have is staggering, and the amount of information and truth that you can come out of this channel, and ask that many people to say, think for yourself, look at the facts for yourself, don't believe what I'm saying, and actually step out of your normal box and do something that you don't normally do, and that's investigate, research what somebody else has searched out, and validate to be true. I guess that's my little 2 cent here, right there.
Nice. All right, and that was Ben. And we appreciate him coming on the show, folks. That was Ben again. We are just all happy and ecstatic to have had all of you guys, the support of the channel, the collective comments, pointing us in the right direction, sometimes leading us to the answers outright. So it's been a real great thing to be part of that. We are just humans doing our job, feeling the urge to get and help spread the truth in this movement and what's going on right now. So that's what we felt the calling to do. Your guys' calling is to at least watch it, absorb it, and try to memorize it, and then try to repeat that. There's many steps to all this. Learn it, and your memory's got to build up to be able to remember it, and then to pass it on to people. And sometimes that's just passing on a video that we have made. So please help us do that. That's your guys' some of your calling out there. That's what you would pass it on. If you can't talk about it yourself and get it out, at least pass on a good video that you do believe to be true. So again, do your research, and never ever take anyone's word alone. Watch lots of stuff, listen to everybody you can, believe none of it until you can prove it. All right, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. Thanks for stopping by. God bless, Godspeed, and have a great evening to each and every one of you out there, and we'll see you back here real soon. 4th is coming up. Have a happy 4th of July, and be safe, be smart, and we'll see you back here real soon.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.